Although we'd like to believe otherwise, not all cars are masterworks of automotive engineering and design. Unfortunately, some vehicles fail and end up becoming utter flops. These are the ones that stick out in our memories the most. In fact, several vehicles had such a disastrous debut that they gained notoriety. However, there are also some gorgeous vehicles whose engines were a failure. Some automobiles do, in fact, go down in history as total failures. The top 10 automobile failures are listed in this video to help you get a better idea. Number 10. Pontiac Aztek. It appears that General Motors was determined to release one of the first compact SUVs around this period. Sadly, it did not succeed in doing so elegantly. The Aztek appears as though it were taken directly from a nightmare. It had a boxy shape. Plastic was used as accents. The Aztek didn't sell very well, as you might anticipate. Even some claim that the Aztek was one of the vehicles that forced Pontiac out of existence. Number 9. Chevrolet SSR. When Chevy came out with the SSR, perhaps it was an attempt to stand apart. The end product is a pickup truck that is obviously quite unique from the competition. The SSR would be remembered in history as one of GM's overrated and underwhelming vehicles. SSR stands for Super Sport Roadster, in case you were wondering. This vehicle aims to combine elements of both a pickup truck and a hardtop convertible. Unfortunately, the outcome is a murky mixture. As a result, sales weren't very impressive. Nevertheless, the SSR did get some support. Number 8. Ford Edsel. At Ford, the Edsel was a major thing. Actually, the firm invested $250 million in the creation of the Edsel. Additionally, the development continued for 10 years. The automobile had two engine choices when it was first released in 1957. The 303 horsepower engine was offered in the basic grades according time. The most costly versions, however, came with a 345 horsepower engine. With 18 versions, Ford debuted the Edsel, and despite all the excitement, the car's sales were unsuccessful. Number 7. Ford Pinto. If you ask us, the Pinto was one of the worst cars ever for a variety of good reasons. It may be said that Ford approached the production of the Pinto aggressively. When it came to the compact car segment at the time, Volkswagen presented the automaker with fierce competition. And for some reason, Ford hurried the creation and introduction of the Pinto as a response. Unfortunately, there were negative effects. Some Pinto owners noticed that a rear impact would cause the fuel system to break. It later turned out that Ford executives were aware of it, yet nevertheless approved the Pinto's manufacture. Number 6. Lincoln Blackwood. The Blackwood was Lincoln's first effort at producing a pickup truck. Unfortunately, it appears to be the last as well. The truck's basic design is based on the Ford F-150 Super Crew, although it has different body panels, a grille, and an interior. The truck offers acceptable performance thanks to its 300 horsepower 5.4-liter V8 engine. However, others thought that its navigation system was out of date and that its cargo bed had a peculiar appearance. Ultimately, Lincoln only made one model year of the vehicle before discontinuing it entirely. Number 5. Jaguar X-Type. The X-Type is intended to be a compact automobile competitor to the BMW 3 Series and other comparable vehicles. Unfortunately, the X-Type never even managed to establish a solid reputation. People quickly became aware of the vehicle's subpar switchgear. Additionally, complaints regarding road noise were made. Others complained that the cabin was cramped. The X-Type, according to Consumer Reports, was never a fantastic automobile. We should all therefore be glad that Jaguar ultimately made the decision to give up on the vehicle entirely. Number 4. GM EV1. Before Tesla became widely known, there was GM's EV1. It's an automobile that failed because it was too innovative for its time. The automobile made a great first impression. The EV1 did appear stylish after all. However, since the range was just 100 miles, several consumers found this to be insufficient. And to make matters worse, there were few charging outlets on the roadways. Finally, GM decided to recall and discontinue the EV1. For many years, it was widely believed that all EV1 vehicles had already been obliterated, but then an EV1 appeared in a parking lot in Atlanta. Number 3. Fisker Karma. Another ambitious manufacturer that sought to innovate was Fisker Automotive. The company created the Karma, an attention-grabbing electric vehicle with a stylish design. It initially sold rather well, but after Fisker filed for bankruptcy, production was halted. After being acquired by the Chinese company Wangxiang, Fisker is keen to make a return, much like Aptera Motors. What's more intriguing is that the corporation promises it will resume Karma manufacturing, but when it does, the vehicle will go by the name Elux Karma, per a story from Driving. Number 2. DeLorean DMC-12. Even though this DeLorean is highly well known, the automobile isn't necessarily a hit. The DMC-12 was intended to be marketed as a futuristic sports automobile when DeLorean first unveiled it. Even with that level of optimism, the business anticipated selling 12,000 automobiles a year. However, nothing turned out as planned. Motor Biscuit claims that by 1981, the firm had only sold 6,000 DMC-12 as DeLorean was already in financial trouble, which made things worse. Nevertheless, the Back to the Future film series had a part in making the vehicle legendary. Even some DMC-12s did well at auction. Number 1. Aptera 2E. Aptera Motors is comparable to Tesla in certain aspects. The business was so ambitious that it created an electric car with 3 wheels. Even though it resembles a large hovercraft more, the 2E was not designed to fly. Instead, it was intended to provide a little excitement to the daily drive. Regrettably, Aptera Motors filed for bankruptcy, forcing them to cancel orders for the vehicle. According to Car and Driver, Aptera has revealed its intentions to make a comeback with an electric vehicle that has a 1,000-mile range. What happens next will only become clear with time.